welcome back to my channel, Self Growth Uncensored, where I talk about things uncensored that I think are really fucking important. So yeah, today we're talking about my life mantra, kind of now. We'll get into that. Anyway, fake it till you make it. We've all heard it, we've all embodied it, the baddies get it, the not baddies might not get it, but hey, we're all baddies on this channel. So specifically, I want to talk about it from the perspective of how it's actually harmful. And don't get me wrong, this is a wonderful mindset to have, but there's some due processing that needs to occur before we adopt this mindset. The thing with fake it till you make it is that it can actually cause a lot of emotional repression, and we're gonna get into that, but first I want to talk about the ways that it actually does help. And one of those ways is it really brings you out of your comfort zone. The whole idea of fake it till you make it is to embody a brand new version of yourself that you don't really feel fully identified with, and by embodying certain traits, certain hobbies, certain ways of being and thinking, you'll slowly become and develop that person inside of you until it becomes your actual reality, faking who you want to be in order to become that person. So obviously becoming a new person is fucking uncomfortable, you know? Like, you're like, hey, who's this chick? I don't know who that is. She does things that I would never do. She doesn't care what other people think. I care what other people think. She doesn't give a fuck about anything and just like lives her life, and like I low-key like can't do, you know, like there's that whole division, and what you're doing is you're just like crossing over to the other end, which is hard. And this really causes you to be brave. I mean, those are kind of intertwined, you know, but like getting uncomfortable, if you continually do something over and over and over again, eventually you will habituate to it. As human beings, we are literally designed to adapt to circumstances, being new temperatures, new ways of living. Like, we can move across the world and be fine, you know, we can go out into space and like be okay. I mean, as long as you have a suit and a spaceship, I guess. But yeah, it causes you to be brave, and that's honestly why I fell in love with this mantra. It just felt so badass. Like, damn, I really can do anything, and what anybody else thinks really does not matter. And I kind of touched on this already, but it does train your brain. Like I just said, we are born to adapt, and the more you do something, the more you're training your brain to think a certain way. A lot of people think that the brain is just like born a certain way and it stays like that forever, but that's literally against all science and neuroscience that you can possibly find out there. I'm sure you've heard of the growth mindset. You know, you can change your way of thinking just by affirming certain things in your head over and over and over again. I think it's called self-hypnosis, or honestly brainwashing yourself. I do it every night. I listen to sleep tapes of things that I'm trying to cultivate in my life, because when you believe something, there's a I forget which part of your brain it is, but it's the what's it called? I can't remember the name, but essentially your brain is biased towards your beliefs. It has to confirm your beliefs, and it does this through your perspective on the world. For example, a person walking on the street could no, let me start over. Okay, there's a person on like walking the city or wherever you live, and it's a very rainy day. One person who has the belief that I love rain is gonna be like, fuck yeah, let's get the umbrellas out, let's dance, let's jump in puddles, oh, let's get like a latte, you know, because it's all chilly and cozy and vibey, you know. There's that perspective with the belief that I love rain. Rain is amazing. And then there could be someone else who maybe had like bad experiences with rain, or like grew up in Seattle and associates rain with depression. So when it rains for them, how they're gonna view it is like, oh, this fucking sucks. I'm gonna have to stay inside. When I get out of my car to go to work, it's gonna, like, I'm gonna get drenched, and then I'm gonna walk around and my socks are gonna be all so, you know, like, talk about like a Debbie Downer, you know? But this circumstance, the environment for those two people were exactly the same. The only thing that was different was their belief on it. So by changing your beliefs, you change your perspective, which change your outlook on life, which changes your life. You get where I'm going with this? And because of that, this leads right into the fourth reason why fake it till you make it is so incredible and such a crucial mindset to adopt, is because it opens opportunities for you. People with this mindset generally appear more optimistic, and they genuinely are optimistic because they're embodying these qualities. If you were going to go look for a job, would you rather, let me repeat that. If you're hiring someone for a job, would you rather have someone who has like a drowsy vibe, who's just like super fucking pessimistic about the world? Or would you rather hire someone who's like, you know what, like, I'm so grateful for this opportunity and I am so open to learn and grow with this company? Like, the choice is obvious. By having this mentality, you will open doors for yourself in all aspects of life. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, like all across the board. It helps with everything. But now that we've covered all of these glorious parts of this, we dive into the dark side, and that is emotional repression. Yes, I've done this also. Like, I've used this honestly not to my benefit in an unintentional way. Oh my god, that was hard to say. Sometimes we can use this mantra almost as a way to escape our feelings and kind of mask how we're actually like truly and genuinely feeling, because the whole fake it till you make it mentality implies that you are faking something. And what are you faking? You know, like, what are you hiding from? Because if it's anxiety, feeling lonely, depression, negative stuff, then you're not processing. And I don't believe that you should go into this mentality without dealing with that shit first, because it's not gonna work, and actually it's going to backfire on you if you don't allow yourself to kind of sit with your emotions and let it let it manifest physically, whether that be crying, screaming, exercising, talking to somebody, or journaling. You're gonna build that energy up inside of you, and you're gonna build up resentment, not for people but for yourself. And you're gonna just like gradually begin to hate yourself more and more, because you're trying to become this version of yourself, but it feels so damn fake and just like plastic. You're never gonna actually feel that love and trust and loyalty to yourself, because you don't even feel like you're yourself. And I've done this before, and every time that I've tried to get like really on the fake it till you make it mentality, I was almost always running from an emotion, and usually that being anxiety or loneliness. It can also be used as a way to kind of create more fun in your life if you're feeling like your day-to-day has become very mediocre and boring, kind of like to stir the pot a little bit. Which, don't get me wrong, that is fun to do sometimes. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, but it really comes down to a balance and being honest with yourself. Okay, do I actually just want to become like a better version of myself, or do I just want to like hide from my emotions in a seemingly positive way? And I want to bring this up because I haven't heard anybody talk about it online before, but it's the whole idea of trying to make yourself feel a certain way in certain situations, and how that never, ever works, because you cannot force yourself to feel a certain way genuinely. Like, you really can't. So that you understand like what I'm talking about this, let me give you a few examples, because examples have always helped me. If you celebrate Christmas, I'm sure that you're very familiar, and even if you don't celebrate Christmas, if you're around it, the whole merry, happy, jolly, jolly, ho, ho, ho holiday. It is connected with feeling extremely happy. The entire holiday, and especially on Christmas Day, I feel sometimes, and I know that a lot of other people have felt because I've spoken to them about it, that we try to force ourselves to really, really enjoy it and be like apply so much importance and meaning to it. And honestly, it sucks out all of the fun and joy. When we can kind of go into something with no expectations of what we're gonna get out of it, that is when you can actually be present and enjoy yourself in the moment. Christmas was one example. Another one would be your birthday. You know, you're like, oh, it's my birthday. Like, I'm supposed to be really happy. Yay, it's my birthday, you know? If you try to make yourself and force yourself to feel that way, babe, you're not gonna feel it that way, because you're building so much resistance in that. This applies to vacation too, you know, like going on vacation, like, oh my God, I've been looking forward to this for months, but now that I'm here, I'm like, yeah, like this is cool, like I'm happy, but like I'm not like so happy, you know? Like I find myself doing this with really important things in my life sometimes, being like, okay, like I'm going into this and like really expecting myself to get a lot out of it emotionally, but that really backfires on me. And it only really works when I go into it without expecting myself to feel happy about it, without expecting myself to feel all of the crazy like upward emotions, you know? Another perspective that I want to throw this in, like example, is with friendships. For example, with a best friend or a boyfriend, expecting it to feel like so freaking amazing and happy memories and like laughing all the time and feeling like so like in love with your partner all the time, when in reality, that's literally not realistic. And I think it was Manifestel, that a YouTuber that I love listening to, and she made a video about relationship corn. I can't say the actual word, but essentially it was I never even heard about it before. I thought it was so interesting. It's where there's these pages or like creators who post about their relationship, but only like the literal best treatment ever, and like just like, oh my God, like he's so amazing. And what it does is it romanticizes relationships, and it makes people believe that their partners aren't good enough, even though they might be like an incredible, perfect guy for them. But because they're constantly consuming this relationship corn, this like perfect idealized image of how relationships should be, people can't help but making it personal and connecting it to their own relationships. You know, like when you go to the doctor and or like hear something online about like someone who got this like bad illness or cancer, you automatically think, okay, like what if I have it? Or like, okay, do any of these symptoms apply to me? You know, we're very self-centered, focused human beings when it comes to these sort of things, because we want to protect ourselves and make sure that we're good. But by constantly consuming that kind of content, it becomes really difficult to see the own positive, amazing princess treatment aspects of your own relationship. This can apply to your job or hobbies too, like expecting yourself to fully love everything about your job, or if you're finding your purpose or like feel like you're living your purpose and you don't love everything about it, and you're like, oh fuck, like maybe this isn't my purpose, like maybe I'm not supposed to do this because I don't love it 100% of the time. And that's just normal. come on now. I get really frustrated when people talk about their jobs being like, I'm following my purpose, and it's just so great, and I just love it, because it's just not fully true. We can't be happy 24/7. We can't feel fulfilled 24/7. It's not human. It's not how we work. And unfortunately, that's all we're surrounded by, you know, like the highlights of people's lives. You don't see 95, 98% of people's lives. You don't see them get up and do laundry or do the dishes or blow their nose or wash their face. You know, those are just things that we all do, but we don't really talk about at all. When you ask how someone is, it's like, oh, how are you? Good. Oh, how are you? Good. Like, what did you do today? Or like, what have you been up to recently? It's like, oh, I've been working a lot, blah, blah, blah. You don't say, oh, I've been doing the dishes, I've been doing laundry, I've been drinking water, you know, eating food, you know. All of those things are just kind of givens. And lastly, when it comes to romanticizing life, I'm a big fan of this. I love to romanticize my life, but I have to be careful sometimes and not expect myself to absolutely be in love with every single aspect of my life all the time, because sometimes things are boring. Sometimes there are things that I have to do that I really don't want to do, like finish an essay or do my math homework or take out the trash when I'm at work, you know? Like, I can try to romanticize them, and I do, but sometimes I'm just like, no, this fucking sucks, and I don't want to do this right now, and I no longer try to erase that over. I don't really try to be like, no, Emma, try to enjoy taking out the trash. Like, it's okay to admit that you don't like taking out the trash, that you don't like certain aspects of like certain things in your day-to-day. Like, that's okay. Like, give yourself some grace, okay? Like, allow yourself to feel how you're genuinely feeling. Babe, love yourself. But I want to tie these two things together, because I know that I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit, but I promise you it adds up. The fake it till you make it mentality is fantastic, but you need to allow yourself to process how you're feeling first. This doesn't have to be too long. I don't mean that I want you to sit in your room alone and cry for hours and hours and hours and days and days and days. I mean, if you need that, okay. But honestly, I'd like peak it at maybe like a day or two for the more like minor things. I mean, if someone just died or whatnot, like I have no right to speak on that and tell you how long to process. But when it comes to like the more like tiny things that you're just like really dealing with, let yourself feel it, let yourself go down in the dumps, let yourself process that all out and like let go of the energy, but then pick yourself up again and restart your cycle again. You're like, okay, like I've done my sulking, and now it's time to get up, and it's time to do it again. So after you've done your emotional processing, and I already mentioned the ways that you can do this, meditating, breathwork, journaling, affirmations, nighttime recordings, exercise, talking to someone. I mean, get a coach or a therapist, any of that to really help sustain your mental health. You know, like have a mental health manager. That's what I call my coach. But by allowing yourself to emotionally process, when you go into the mindset of fake it till you make it, it's gonna feel less fake. It's gonna feel more authentic to who you're trying to become, and you're not gonna feel like you're lying to yourself as much. This is something that I wish that I would have just kind of accepted and came to terms with a little bit earlier, because I could have saved myself a lot of time of trying to become the best version of myself. And that's just by literally letting yourself sulk for a little bit, letting yourself process, letting yourself have a little pity party and like victim complex or mode for just a little bit of time, but then going through that and realizing, okay, this is good. Now, who do I want to be? who do I want to act? How do I want to dress? How do I want to talk? How do I want to present myself to the world? You know, because you only get one chance for a first impression, so you best to go out there looking good. You know, that's why I put so much effort into my parents, because you never know who you'll meet. You never know if you'll make a new connection that's literally going to change your life today. You don't know. And that's what I love about life and hate about life. It's so unpredictable. Like, we genuinely don't know anything. We really don't. But yeah, that's all I have to share with you today. I hope that you found some helpful information from this. Let me know. Leave a comment or a like or subscribe, whatever you like. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.